This episode features a BMW i3 2015 for sale. First of all, let's start with the smart chart, just so we make sure we don't forget to look for anything. When shopping for a car, you need to go through the exterior condition, the engine condition, the interior condition, make a test drive if it's possible, and then check the mileage. But before we start, I know that shopping for a car can be stressful. Usually you have a family, you're working full time, and you really need a car right now, not in a year from now. So you're on a tight schedule and budget. I mean, when you're buying a car, you expect not to put any additional repair money at least for 3 or 4 years. At the same time, there isn't really a way to be 100% sure a used car won't need any repairs. What I would like to share throughout my work is ways to minimize the risk and deal the best price as fairly as possible. The paint job. You're looking for inconsistency in the paint job, panels that seems to be lighter or stronger in color than the rest of the car. Usually you need the sun to be shining bright in order to kind of see how the light plays on the paint. Body condition. As always, this should be the most obvious part. When you're walking around the car, look for any dings, broken parts, scratches, rust. Wheels and tires. First of all, look and see if all four tires are the same make and model. Then take a simple penny and insert it in between the tire tread. It will give you a rough estimation on how deep they are. Finally, check the rims for scratches, pothole damage, and faded paint. Mechanical components. This car features a very easy access to components such as front axles, ball joint, lower table. Even if you're not a mechanical expert, you can still look for anything unusual. If anything is torn, broken, rusted, and if you're not sure, don't forget to compare the right and the left component. Headlamps and tail lights. Check if the headlamps are becoming blurred and yellow. This is common with non-UV treated transparent plastic. With time and sunshine, they slowly degrade. This means either the car was sitting too long facing the sun, or the car has spent most of its life on the road. This is why sometimes yellow blurred headlamp can give you a rough estimation on the actual mileage. The most important feature in an electric car is the battery. They are kind of expensive to replace and can be very well damaged during a short period of time. In fact, when you drain a battery under about 10% repeatedly over and over again, you very well risk an early degradation on your battery, which then slowly fails to fully recharge. It may display 100% fully recharged note on your dashboard, but the car will suffer less range, which will cause even more deep discharges and overall accelerate the capacity loss of your battery. Today, an electric car driver would be lucky if his battery is able to provide 70% capacity over a 5-year period or 60,000 miles. This is just to give you an estimation on what to expect. And since there's no way to make sure a battery has been well taken care of, you have to prepare your mind for a potential battery replacement within the next 3 or 4 years. Except if you go for an BMW i3 Rex, which is equipped with a range extender, which features a small petrol engine. Really small, 1.65 liters or 650 cc. It's a twin-cylinder motorbike engine. This little engine will give you more range, but it also ensures the battery level never reaches below 15%. So it's programmed to start up and activate a generator which fills up the battery. Of course, assuming you always have some petrol inside your 9-liter capacity gas tank. The battery in the Rex BMW i3 is potentially going to have a longer lifespan. And keep in mind that in the BMW i3, a battery replacement can cost up to 15,000 Canadian dollar. And that is just including parts, without labors and other fees. Since this model over here isn't equipped with the Rex option, we won't be investigating the engine. But keep in mind that a petrol engine means oil could leak, oil need to be maintained, there is potential for burning oil and coolant fluid. You have to inspect the gas coming out from the muffler. Although it seems a lot, it should not be a big deal on this kind of electric car because the petrol engine isn't needed all the time. Interior condition. Look for any unusual wear and tear on the steering wheel, seats, switches, and any unusual condition could be caused by excessive use, which should indicate a relatively high mileage. Seat belts. The seat belts are made in a specific way so they lock only once when the car gets into a crash, and you have to replace them in order to put the car back on the road. They are kind of expensive parts to buy directly from the dealer, so before resorting to the dealer, you try local stores or scrapyards. When you're desperate, you get on the black market looking for stolen parts. This is where it gets interesting. Those bad people on the black market, they malhandle parts. Once they have been removed from stolen cars, they basically throw them away in their yards, waiting for customers. Meanwhile, those parts accumulate dirt, rust, and all kind of nasty stuff. After that, nobody is bothered cleaning them up before installing them. Anyway, that's the best explanation I was able to come up with after witnessing numerous recent cars with seatbelts in such a terrible state. All windows and sunroof. Check if all the windows are working properly, open them up and close them down. Now, those are frameless door windows. Usually those windows are programmed from the factory to roll a little bit down every time you open the door in order to clear away from the roof. So check them up twice, make sure they're working well. Windshield wipers. Don't forget to check if the windshield wipers show any malfunction. Finally, if you can, you must take it for a test drive. I would suggest to drive it in city roads, then take it on the highway. Mileage. After going throughout that smart chart thoroughly, you really should begin to have an idea on the actual mileage of the car. So check it out at the very end of your investigation. If the shown number makes you uncomfortable, walk away or try and get the best deal as fairly as possible. Cluster lights. Check and see if any cluster lights are on. Each light could indicate needed maintenance. This was a BMW i3 2015 for sale. Thank you for watching and shop carefully.